Maybe people forgot her, but Isis was one of the most powerful goddesses in the ancient world. His eyes turned cold and sharp like a pro gamer. Whatever, I just need to max out this mastery level. Right now, there are two ways to level up mastery. 1. Watch videos about it. He shivered at the mention of videos, cold sweat breaking out as he remembered that horror show earlier. Do I really have to stare into that terrifying abyss one more time? That cosmic horror hiding in the darkness behind the abyss? Yeah, I am out. Not even worth thinking about. If I am not careful, my brain will melt. Even the highest SSS-rank mental defenses would get totally wrecked. His hand glowed with a fierce red magical aura. He thought to himself, all right, if the videos are out, there is only one way to do this. With fire in his eyes, he tightened his fist with pure determination. I am just going to have to test this out myself. I have to test it anyway, so I might as well start crafting that spatial bag like I planned. See how risky our boy is being? He dropped 4 billion, so he better get every single penny back through this craft. Zhuge Liang's S+ rank light skill instantly activated. His mind dove into a sea of infinite knowledge. See, multi-dimensional space is just another magic trick. The principle is just reaching into the void. You do not even need to put it into a piece of gear. Just warp reality and create a pocket dimension. Done. He watched the magic flames flicker in his hand and scowled at the power he was holding. Does not look like something I can just mess around with. Visions of the universe collapsing made him break into a cold sweat. He looked pale. Depending on how much reality is warped, the cosmic backlash will hit back 10 times harder. Worst case scenario, the very existence of the user will collapse and vanish entirely from the world. He shook his head to clear the thoughts of dying. He needed a conduit to hold the storage concept. Maybe I will just make it a bag. I have never sewed a day in my life. Should I find a YouTube tutorial to help me? Then he thought about his empty wallet. Forget it. Just swing the hammer. No way I am paying for another subscription just for this. The materials do not really matter as long as I build it solid like I always do. While he was busy tinkering in the corner, the camera panned over to the outer room. Old man Xiao was bragging about a sword to Master Aurelian. Look at the flexibility and durability on this thing. A perfect balance without losing any strength. But the best part? The master lifted the hilt into the light, eyes wide with shock. This hilt. He stroked his beard with a smirk, explaining the magic. It seems the hilt changes shape depending on who is holding it. How is that even possible? Master Aurelian's serious face was reflected clearly in the sharp blade. The quality of the sword from Master Xiao's shop is truly at the absolute top tier. But honestly, I could probably forge something with similar quality myself. No, I bet I could do even better. However, there is one thing. He gripped the handle. It fit perfectly. His voice dropped. This hilt. A shape-shifting hilt. Honestly, that is the main reason I traveled all this way. No more games or secrets. Old man Xiao dropped a total bombshell. I used the facial muscles of a doppelganger monster to make it. Charon stepped up as the translator and repeated the news word for word. He said he used facial muscles. Right after she said it, Master Aurelian's face went pale. He started sweating from the shock. You are telling me you successfully fused a monster ability into equipment? Is that even humanly possible? Time for a quick science lesson. Ever since monster materials entered the world of alchemy, things have advanced fast. We have materials way harder than any natural metal. But there is a hard limit. You can only use a monster's power if it is a physical trait that stays after they die, like pure hardness. An image of a monster appeared to explain the law. Powers cannot be transferred to gear. Their abilities vanish the moment they die. You cannot harvest skills from a corpse. Because of that law, the old master looked like he was losing his mind. He stepped closer. Unless that guy is literally a god, how on earth could you possibly embed a monster's power into physical equipment? Charon translated quickly for him. He is asking how you managed to pull off such a high level of forbidden alchemy. The old man pointed back at the forge. Honestly, I learned it from a smith named Mingxiu. Yup, the $10 billion secret is finally out. Master Aurelian turned to look at the guy working in the corner. You learned from him? That guy? The kid was pulling a red-hot iron bar from the forge with a goofy grin. The old man judged him silently. He does not look like a master blacksmith at all. Is he really qualified to teach someone like Xiao? He still could not believe his eyes. Aurelian frowned with deep suspicion. You are messing with me, right? Xiao laughed and scratched his chin. I did not believe it at first either. Looks like our boy Menshu is about to craft something new. Why not stick around and watch him work? He looks pretty confident right now. The master thought to himself. Honestly, I am still not convinced. But if Xiao thinks this highly of the kid, there must be a good reason. He watched with a sharp, professional eye as he prepared to forge something. The key to any great forge is the temperature. This old geezer starts roasting him in his head. Like, you have to hammer that glowing metal while it is hot to knock out the junk with precision, but this kid is just standing there vibing. Does he even know the absolute basics of how a forge works? Right as the old man decides this kid is a total fraud, boom, a massive explosion rocks the room. The sledgehammer slams down so hard it lights up the whole workshop like the 4th of July. Suddenly, it is hammer time. Blows rain down like a storm, sending sparks flying everywhere. Siu is going beast mode on this spatial pocket project of his. Aurelian, smug face completely freezes. His jaw is on the floor. Wait, he did that on purpose? Cold forging? Even a grandmaster has to bow down to our main character is insane talent. Quick lesson from the blacksmith is handbook. Hot forging is usually the go-to for making materials way stronger and more refined. It is great for banging out crazy shapes, but when things get super hot, tweaking the tiny details becomes a massive pain. But Siu is built different. To pull off this cold forging flex, he has to heat it past the limit, then cool it down with surgical precision right before it warps. If the temperature is off by even one tiny degree, the metal shatters instantly. Too cold, it turns into a total brick. The Grandmaster is literally shaking, watching these perfect strikes. Wait, did this kid just feel the exact temperature with nothing but his bare skin? The old man, his eyes are bulging out of his head. He is totally spiraling. This is some next-level impossible stuff right here. His pupils are vibrating like he is staring at a straight-up monster. We are talking about a level way beyond human senses. But then, in the middle of the shop, Siu's hammer strokes create a gorgeous vortex of sparks. This is insane. Is this even real life? Master Aurelian looks like he is about to faint. He takes a step back, totally crushed by this legendary talent. He just cannot wrap his head around it. That level of skill is way past anything a normal human is supposed to reach. Siu looks like a straight-up fire god standing there in the flames. How am I even supposed to compete with that? He is operating on a level I cannot even touch. After a performance that basically broke the alchemy world, the system dropped some good news. I crafted a fragment. My divine alchemy mastery just went up a tiny bit. Not bad. Looking at this thin metal sliver, Siu just sighs. Only a fragment? Turning metal into thread is a real pain. The screen says my divine alchemy is at 30.87% plus 0.3%. Squishing this soft little ball of metal in his hand, Siu thinks to himself, whatever, as long as it holds together, we are good. He gives the ball a squeeze. Honestly, it is actually pretty squishy. That glowing red alchemy light starts flaring up in his palm. Siu is locked in. Now, it is time to bake in that crazy multi-dimensional space magic. He stands there for a second, then his brain basically hits a 404 error. Like, how do I even pull this off? Do I have to do some weird dance like the goddess Isis? Before he can pick a move, old man Aurelian lunges out of nowhere, grabs his shoulders, and starts screaming his head off about how impossible this is. Meanwhile, back at Incheon Airport, a private jet just touched down on the tarmac. This guy sounds totally panicked. What? Matthew Aurelian? You are telling me he actually went to some place called Siu's Forge? Are you for real? The dude with the massive scar over his eye looks stressed out. Like, what is that legend even doing in a place like that? In the glowing sunset, Scarface barks orders at his guys in black suits. Move out now! We have no idea where he is heading next, so get the local agents to track every single move Matthew Aurelian makes. Right behind Scarface is this young officer in a security cap. He is just standing there with his head down, hiding in the shadows. The kid looks up and flashes a creepy smile, whispering his boss's name. Oh, Dugan. His eyes are glowing with pure madness in the red light. He says, your time as the branch director is officially over, pal. I am taking it back. Then, the screen reveals our villain's true identity. This is Montebelm. The big boss of Pandemonium is Branch right here in Korea. Looks like things are about to get messy, guys. We cut back to the forge where the old man is still death-gripping Siu and screaming about how impossible this is. Poor main character. He is trying to think if this guy will not leave him alone. He looks totally done. Can you please just let go of me? Charon clears her throat and translates for the Grandmaster. He says he just got so hyped he could not help himself. Siu just tells her, tell him I am busy. Siu just turns his back and starts walking away. She says he wants to talk shop about alchemy, but Siu is like, yeah, tell him I am not interested. He gives a cold look, purely business. Honestly, I would get way more out of watching Hephaestus videos on YouTube. She asks, what does he have to do to get a meeting? Suddenly, he gets a devious idea. Siu holds up one finger with a sneaky little smirk on his face. Well, in that case, tell him if he coughs up one orichalcum stone, I might think about it. The old man strokes his beard. He is asking if that is really all it takes. He also wants to know why you even need orichalcum. Siu just shrugs and says he is going to refine it for some gear. Sweet, another free orichalcum stone? As soon as he says that, Orlean's eyes nearly pop out again. Charon quickly translates his question. Wait, you can actually refine orichalcum? He is asking if orichalcum is even refinable. Our guy just strokes his chin, acting all mysterious before giving a short answer. Maybe. That vague answer makes the old master lose it again. He is screaming in Siu's face about how ridiculous this is. Siu is actually getting annoyed. This geezer is stressing me out. Charon jumps and tells Siu that he is heading back right now to go grab it. Wait, what? They both turn into little chibi versions, totally confused. Back where? France? Yeah, that is exactly what he just said. Well, he is a man of action. Old man Orlean sprints out the door like he is on fire. Charon has to run just to keep up with him. Guess we will finish this talk when he gets back. I am out of here too. See ya, Siu. Suddenly, the forge is dead silent. Siu just stands there blinking. Oh. Finally, he turns to the owner who has been ignored this whole time. Sorry about that, uncle. I did not mean to push you aside like that. Meeting a legend like Master Aurelian should have been a huge deal for you. But the bearded guy just smiles and waves it off. No worries, kid. I am totally fine. Honestly, working in the same shop as you is the real honor. Siu low-key triggers his divine medicine skill to give the old man a quick health scan. That feels like a way bigger flex than meeting some grandmaster. I thought he looked a bit sick earlier, but luckily, my scan shows he is doing just fine. Feeling relieved, he turns to head out and gives the man a friendly warning. I am finished here, so I am heading home. Make sure you do not overdo it for a while. Finally, the door is shut and the day is over. Big sigh of relief. Now I can actually get some work done without people breathing down my neck. Boom, I am popping both ultimate skills right now. My chest starts glowing with this insane red energy ball. I am focusing hard, combining my SSS reality manipulation with that S+ light skill. My eyes are locked in, no distractions. I start chanting the words to reshape the fabric of this space. This is the core logic of our world, how matter exists and things happen. Red light wraps around my small pouch like a blanket. I let out a roar and force the space inside to grow. Suddenly, deep red lightning starts wilding out, striking every corner of the forge. A massive magical shockwave erupts, surrounding me in a complete hurricane of raw power. I am gritting my teeth, fighting the pressure. My hands are white-knuckling this glowing bag. Is this the universe pushing back? The light is blinding. I am drenched in sweat, feeling like this force is going to swallow me whole. Just gotta hold on. That massive energy pillar finally starts shrinking down. Everything gets sucked into that tiny pouch. The pressure vanishes. My system pops up a notice. Reality manipulation mastery just went up 0.8%. I am totally gassed. I am dripping sweat, but I cannot stop grinning. Honestly, this was way more brutal than any workout with the crew. This isn't just some basic cheat skill, it is the real deal. I take a breath and pick up the bag to check it out. From the outside, it looks exactly like it did before. Totally normal. I slowly open the top, heart pounding, hoping it worked. A gorgeous magical glow spills out from the inside. I practically scream with joy. Yes, I actually pulled it off. I peek inside and my jaw drops. It is huge, like the size of a whole football field in there. All that overtime was totally worth the grind. Before I can even celebrate, 4 big dudes show up at the door and scare the life out of me. No way. Who the hell are these guys supposed to be? These uninvited guests walk right in. The 2 guys in front look at the magical wreckage and mumble, "What in the world happened in here?" I am clutching my new treasure, looking at them like they are crazy. Seriously, who are you people and what do you want? To explain why this squad just crashed the party, we gotta rewind. Back to their fancy ride flying down the highway as the sun was setting in a blaze of orange. Inside the car, a guy with a thick beard is fidgeting. The long-haired dude next to him sighs. I cannot believe Lord Aurelian left Korea already. Why was he in such a rush? The long-haired guy checks his phone and drops the news. Aurelian is already heading to France. The bearded guy and the redhead just stare, mouths open. That was way too fast. He adjusts his collar, looking all serious. What was a guy like him doing at a random forge? The guy in glasses pushes up his frames, looking suspicious. By the way, why have you been acting so weird lately? Is it because of that spatial storage bag? That was not just magic. You are using one right now, are you not? S-rank hunter Lee Sejun info pops up. He is sweating bullets now. How? How did he even figure that out? This is not good. Bearded guy looks at the fire witch. Is that really such a big deal? It should not be that surprising. Johanna crosses her arms, giving him a cold stare. She says it is an impossible feat. Lee Sejun explains that any sufficiently advanced tech is indistinguishable from magic. It is science, basically. You have heard that before, right? Exactly. Magic does not just ignore the laws of physics, it uses them. Johanna holds out her hands, one with a burning flame, the other with swirling water. To normal people, magic looks like some supernatural miracle. She brings her hands together. The water starts boiling and turns into steam instantly from that intense magical heat. She looks at the long-haired guy and smirks. What do you think made the water boil? He stammers, well, you heated it with fire. But as he says it, his eyes go wide. He realized the truth. Wait, what? Johanna just casually tosses a ball of boiling water. See, I just hid the fireball with a spell. That is how magic actually works. It is all about the misdirection. Fire makes heat. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. She leans back, explaining that we just rearrange the laws of pressure to make water boil even when it is cold. In other words, we are just hacking the world rules. Images of fire and ice show up to illustrate. Fire does not have to be hot, it can be freezing cold instead. Water never boiling, the laws of the world cannot be tossed aside by basic concepts like that. Lee Sejun wipes his forehead and gets to the point. That spatial bag? It literally rewrote the laws of the universe. Longhair asks Johanna if that is impossible. She nods, definitely. And even if you could do it, you absolutely should not. It is a line you never cross. A scary red aura flares up behind her. The world itself rejects that kind of existence. Only one being could pull that off. Her eyes go sharp. She emphasizes that it would take an entity that rules over all laws. Basically, you would have to be a god. Bearded guy is sweating now, looking at the leader. How the hell does that work? Do you get it? The leader just shrugs. Not really. Johanna stops the theory talk and thinks. More importantly, that guy, I feel like I have seen him before. Maybe he is some famous YouTuber? Suddenly, the bearded guy grabs his earpiece, looking pissed. What is wrong? A second later, he jumps out of his seat. He is terrified. Lord Aurelian just... Something happened. Leaving the chaos in the car, we pan over to a massive skyscraper shining in the middle of the night. A mysterious voice says the treatment was a success. A guy in a black suit bows to a man whose back is turned. I am so sorry, branch director. I was just told your right eye cannot be fixed. The man turns around, revealing a nasty scar running down his face. His eye glows. It is a scar. His identity pops up. Korea branch director of Pandemonium and CEO of Cupscar Ozugun. He asks coldly about Beckham. No news yet, but the Hunter Bureau has shut down all of their current operations. For now, tell everyone in Pandemonium to stay low. We cannot draw any attention to ourselves. The subordinate is shaking, asking, THH, yo, branch manager, you hear Mata Aurelian just touched down in Korea? Ojugan chilly replies, I know. My guy swallows hard, looks like the chaos in Gyeonggi is already giving him a massive headache. Ojugan snaps, eyes turning blood red with rage. Seems like they even dragged Han Charon from the SH group into this whole mess. Ohugan jumps up, screaming, what? His knuckles go white, gripping the chair like he is about to snap it. What kind of idiot would dare do that? After everything we have lost, they actually messed with the SHX group. He steadies his voice, sounding ice cold. Explain exactly what you mean by trouble. The lackey stammers, looks like they snatched him. Ojugan starts sweating the details. Mata Aurelian is a big deal, like a global superstar of the industry. If we mess with him, the whole world is going to be staring at Korea. We left him alone because it was too risky. But how? He stares out the window, deep in thought. Breaking Aurelian security isn't exactly a walk in the park, especially with Han Charon standing right there. The lackey explains that it was a solo trip, so the French didn't send security. Then, out of nowhere, router-level CEO Moon Tabellum stepped in and handled it himself. Ojugan is stunned. Moon Tabellum? Internal betrayal is on the menu, folks. He can already see that Psycho Officer's twisted grin. He definitely knows how messy things are in Pandemonium. He smirks, realizing the guy is going rogue. Ojugan's aura flares, eyes glowing like a demon. Is he trying to take me down? Man, I really got played this time. The lackey cuts in again. Sir, there is one more thing. I think Mata Aurelian Ojugan's face goes pale, waiting for the blow. Before we hit the action, If you are vibing with this, smash that one like button and subscribe for more content. Hard cut to our boy Siu. A massive snake with glowing red eyes is lunging right at him. The monster screeches. Screen says B-rank monster, a total beast called a basilisk. Before it can blink, Siu lands a soul-crushing punch to its jaw. The basilisk screams, its eyes literally popping out. Then comes a rain of heavy hits. Siu is venting 4 billion worth of rage on this poor snake. The beast hits the floor hard. Jizun, the cameraman with pink braids, is just standing there speechless. Jijun's jaw drops. He cleared a B-rank dungeon in 47 seconds. Suddenly, Siu shouts, "Hey, Jijun!" Siu stands over the corpse, waving a magic bag. "Stop daydreaming and help me stuff this thing in here already." Jizun just blinks. Yeah, boss. Poor kid struggles with the giant tail, screaming that it weighs a ton. Staring at the tiny bag on the dirt, Jizun is like, "Did I hear him right? In here?" He shoves the head toward the bag. "Boss said it, so whatever. He probably thinks I am crazy." Suddenly, a magic flash explodes. Jijun is sweating bullets, eyes wide, while Siu just acts totally casual. What the heck? If you are finished, could you just move aside? Physics just left the chat. The whole giant body slides into the tiny bag. Zizun is like, "Boss, you actually made this?" Siu grins. "Obviously. You really think Mata Aurelian could whip up something this cool?" Jijun laughs. "No way." Siu grabs the bag. Jijun asks, "Wait, isn't that thing heavy, boss?" Siu shrugs. "Barely. It is stored in another dimension, so it is basically weightless." He swings the bag at his sidekick. "Want a turn?" Jijun backs away. "No thanks, boss." Siu chuckles. "You said construction gear was light, but this is too much?" Next dungeon, they walk toward a glowing red gate. 4 more left? No, just 3. Don't lose that camera Diakyu gave you. Work done. Siu walks out into the city and spots a familiar face. It is Secretary Min Young. She is waiting there with sharp eyes. "What brings you here, Mansiu?" Looking serious, she asks to talk. "A beauty shows up at your door, blessing or a curse? You decide." Cut to Incheon Airport, high tension. Word is Mata Aurelian got snatched right off his private jet. A bearded guy asks, "Kidnapped on a private jet?" Seems the perp was already on the inside. The bearded guy's face darkens. If that is true, one of Aurelian's inner circle is a total traitor. A long-haired dude drops a report. "We checked every staff member and their stories." Bearded guy flips pages, sweating hard. He gasps, "Moontabellum? No way. He was a long-time friend, but his name isn't on the list. Was he brainwashed?" A guy with glasses analyzes it. "I suspect high-level mental magic." No signs of a fight anywhere. Bearded guy sweats. He is nearly an S-rank hunter. They took him down without a struggle? Looks like a pro mage with insane mind control powers did this. We are in deep trouble. "Wait, you're telling me an S-rank hunter got clapped that fast?" The long-haired guy scoffed. "S-rank? As if. Han Charon is still just a total rookie. Still, it's way too early to assume they used magic." Right then, the witch Yuhana struts in, oozing major boss energy with every single step. There are traces of high-speed teleportation magic left behind. The gorgeous lady shows up and shuts it down instantly. Yuhana looks sharp, claiming it's a fact that a mage is involved. The bearded guy grips the paper tight, his eyes burning with pure fire. "If you guys are that sure, then I guess it's the real deal. So, can we track them?" Sejun adjusts his glasses and analyzes the crime scene. From what we can see, this isn't their first time pulling this stunt. Red magic waves pulse through the air. He frowns, realizing they intentionally warped the signals to make sure nobody could follow their trail. This isn't going to be easy. Sejun flashes a cocky grin, feeling the hype. There's probably a high-level mage running the show on their side, maybe even better than me. Meanwhile, in the gloomy, dark office of the Korea branch director, a drink on the table reflects the dim light along with the name Mangsiu. The guy in the suit leans back in his chair. Closing his eyes in total frustration, he snaps. "This is the 4th time I've heard that name." His face stays buried in the shadows, looking totally wicked. I'd handle him personally right now if I could, but keeping order is the top priority. Not the right time yet. But it looks like Mangsiu isn't just connected to Aurelian, he's linked to Han Charon too. This means there's a huge chance Mangsiu shows himself. With bloodshot eyes, Oh Jugun thinks of his 2 main enemies, Mangsiu and Moontabellum. Both of those punks are massive thorns in my side. He imagines their powers clashing and exploding, then grins as he predicts how it all ends. By the end of this, they'll definitely tear each other apart. A sneaky smile creeps onto the villain's face. This isn't actually that bad. Whether Manxiu takes out Moon or the other way around, I don't care. He stands up like he owns the place. Either way, I'm not losing anything. Standing by the window, looking at the city lights, Oh Jugun opens his arms wide. The bigger the fight, the bigger the payday for me. While the villains plot, red text flashes on an encrypted video. Kill Joe Bookshan, the prisoner you guys caught. Do that, and we'll reveal where Aurelian and Han Charon are hiding. At a bright cafe, Siu sits in his hoodie and listens to his secretary, Minjun. This video was just uploaded to YouTube this morning. It mentions Joe Bookshan, the guy you arrested. Minjun crosses her arms, looking dead serious as she stares at him. This could be a pandemonium thing. That's why I came to see you in person. Siu looks confused, and the platypus hood on his jacket seems to nod along with him. Why would a kidnapper go this far? Do they really need to grab this much attention? In the middle of the crowded cafe, Minjun answers with a frown. The Bureau thinks pandemonium is behind this, but maybe they just want the world to fall into total chaos. Siu's eyes go dark and sharp as he leans in. These demands aren't normal at all. He starts picking apart the kidnapper's logic with zero chill. Usually, they'd ask for his release, right? But they want us to kill him instead. If this is really a pandemonium job, his S+ light skill glows around his eyes instantly. Siu's detective brain is running at full speed now. It seems like Joe Bookshan is hiding some kind of massive secret. Otherwise, these demands make no sense. He turns to ask her, so what's the Bureau's official stance on this? Negotiating with criminals is usually a big no. A breaking news report about the kidnapping pops up. Minjun sighs. This is about the SH Group heirs being snatched. Since the video went viral, the whole world is watching us. Minjun looks stressed out and totally exhausted by the global pressure. If anything happens to either of them, the Bureau is going to face an insane amount of heat. She reaches a bitter conclusion, but Siu cuts her off. Let's be real, we have to meet their demands. Minjun panics and tries to explain herself. I get your point, but Siu puts his hands in his pockets and drops a heavy question. I bet you've handled plenty of cases where hostages were used as leverage. In those situations, what do the criminals usually ask for? She thinks back. They usually set a cash amount and a deadline, promising to let the hostages go if they get paid. Suddenly, Minjun's eyes widen as she realizes the massive hole in the case. Exactly. Siu's eyes glow with blue magic as he starts exposing the cold, hard truth behind the threat. Normally they'd say they're releasing the hostages, not just giving up a location. That means the situation isn't even in their control anymore. All they can actually do is reveal the location. At the very least, the uploader isn't the one who took them. Minjun is confused. If that's true, why post the video? Maybe they want to escalate the situation or just profit from the chaos. Siu's eyes glow as his detective brain keeps spinning. I don't know who it is yet, but if we do exactly what they want, we're walking straight into a trap. Leaning back, Siu taps his fingers on the table. However, we can't just ignore this either. He flashes a sneaky grin that makes his hoodie look creepy. Let's see if we can flip the script and use this to our advantage. The scene shifts to the Bureau HQ at sunset. A staffer greets her as she arrives. Minjun walks down the hallway with total authority. She asks her subordinates, "How are things going?" EZ looks at her coworker, stuttering. It is S-rank hunter Manxiu. Minjun's eyes go wide as she asks, "Where the heck is Joe Bookshan?" He's in the interrogation room. Footsteps echo in the dark room. Siu walks in with a cold face, hands in his pockets. He approaches the guy sitting in the chair. "Who are you?" Joe Bookshan looks like a total mess. Caught off guard when he stopped breathing, right? Joe Bookshan's eyes were bloodshot as he gritted his teeth in pure terror, screaming, "What the hell is this? What are you doing to me?" Without a single word, Siu gently placed his long, slender fingers on Joe Bookshan's trembling hand. Then, a sharp, sickening crack echoed through the air, followed by a blood-curdling scream that probably blew out his eardrums. The room was painted in a grim shade of red. Talk about being ruthless, the guy is a total nightmare for criminals. Outside the room, the investigators were sweating bullets, looking at each other in total shock. I mean, what is going on in there? Was that room not supposed to be soundproofed with top-tier magic? There is no way a scream like that should be leaking out. The agonizing cries just kept coming. Siu stood tall over the broken man, his gaze ice-cold and showing zero mercy. Humans have plenty of pressure points, and Joe Bookshan was feeling every single one. Siu's hands began to glow with a refined, mystical light. He explained it calmly, like some college professor working on a live lab rat. There are so many different organs designed just to process pain. Grabbing a handful of the criminal's messy hair, Siu yanked his head up to force eye contact. "Do not worry. I am not going to let you die just yet. Siu's silhouette seemed to melt into a terrifying shadow. With eyes glowing red like a bloodthirsty demon, he told him he would suffer so much he would beg for the end. Compared to what he did to those victims, this was nothing. A second gut-wrenching scream ripped through the air, echoing all the way through the skyscraper of the inspection bureau. The junior officer covered her ears, trembling, while Min-jung just stood there with a terrifyingly calm expression. Ignoring the haunting noise, she ordered them to skip the first part of the recording. Yes, Captain. The junior officer clicked the audio file with a shaky hand, and Joe Bookshan's distorted, weeping voice immediately filled the room, begging for death. The screen flickered with complex code as the staffer urgently reported a restriction. Min-jung told her to start playing the footage from that exact point. The interrogation footage appeared. Siu stood with his arms crossed while Joe Bookshan looked like he was in agony. He admitted there was a restriction controlling his every move. Min-jung's eyes went wide. She finally got it. That was why he would not crack during the whole interrogation. He wanted to talk, but he literally could not. An image of a sinister binding spell appeared, fiery chains wrapping around a soul. This restriction does more than just block physical actions. It locks down specific thoughts entirely. Only the original caster can lift a curse like that. It is a brutal type of binding magic that kills the target if they even try to break it. Siu's hand, with fingers looking more like sharp claws, slowly reached toward Joe Bookshan's head. Min-jung held her breath. Suddenly, red magical energy pierced Joe Bookshan's skull, tearing through the interrogation room's atmosphere. The criminal's eyes bulged in absolute shock. The junior officer turned to Min-jung, unable to believe what she just saw. No way! Min-jung gritted her teeth, stammering out the impossible truth. The restriction. Was it actually broken? Both girls stood frozen for 5 seconds, their heads spinning with a million questions. Was that magic Siu just used? Honestly, I have no idea. Seriously, what even was that? Red light from reality manipulation SSS flickered on Siu's fingertips as he flashed a dangerous smirk, commanding the now-freed prisoner. Now, tell me everything you know. After the intense session, the doors swung open. Siu and Min-jung walked down the quiet, empty hallway together. Siu shrugged, acting like it was no big deal. I am not sure how you usually handle escaping scum, but I made sure he will not be using his legs for a long time. Min-jung watched him walk away. Her mind was a mess of complicated thoughts as she replayed his words over and over. She pictured Siu in his goofy duck-colored coat. Usually, he is just this innocent, average guy, even if he is a little bit of a weirdo. Min-jung's face darkened as she remembered that demonic smile in the interrogation room. When it comes to criminals, he becomes more heartless than anyone. But is he really a bad guy? Seeing him gently turn to his little sister, Min-jung smiled, realizing that when he is with her, he is the warmest person alive. He feels more human than just about anyone else I have ever met. The more time I spend with him, the more I see it. Watching his back as he walked off, she could not help but let out a relieved little smile. For some reason, he just makes me feel safe. Now, let Joe Bookshan go. The play begins. Phone screens were blowing up with breaking news about a pandemonium attack. Joe Bookshan reportedly escaped during interrogation but was taken down by the guards after a chase. A necessary move for public safety, they said. Meanwhile, our main man Siu was walking away with his hands in his pockets, looking extremely smug. Well, since I squeezed all the info out of Joe, those villains probably think we played right into their hands. Looking at his glowing hand, he smirked. They have no clue the restriction is gone. Turns out that reality manipulation skill is way more useful than I expected. But the cool guy act did not even last 3 seconds before he was clutching his head, stumbling like he was drunk. Ouch. Guess there is always a risk. My head is spinning. He quickly regained his cool and blended into the crowd. Soon they will leak the hostage locations, but nobody can predict how the game is going to change. Besides, there is no promise that the locations they provide are even the real deal. His hand tightened into a fist. Time for a serious hunt. He needed to move faster, move alone. His right eye ignited with a brilliant blue magical flame. Totally confident, he decided on a strategy they would never see coming, calling in his best sidekick to join the fray. He waved his hand. Let us go, Brecky. The chubby black dog trotted after him, happily stealing the spotlight with a loud, cheerful bark. The camera cut straight to the criminal organization's hideout. The villain stood there, staring at little Charon tied to a chair. She was bloody but refused to say a single word. She is holding up better than I thought she would. It seems like talent is not the only thing this girl has going for her. He slowly raised a hand as his dark aura gathered. A character profile popped up. Montebello, executive officer of Pandemonium. Known for S-rank mind control, he was oozing confidence. Well, this will not take long at all. A faint light began pulling her mind into the distant past. There is tiny Charon hugging her teddy bear for dear life, facing those ice-cold words. Charon, from now on you have to live on your own. Standing right there in front of the funeral altar, some old guy pats the poor orphan's shoulder with the most classic lie of all time. Mom and Dad just went somewhere really far away. It is going to be a very long time before they can come back. The innocent kid looks up, her big eyes wide with curiosity, and asks, "How far is far?" Then, the scene shifts to those freezing, high-rise skyscrapers in the rich part of town. Her monologue starts. "Since coming home, I have not seen my parents once. Even so, I did not let a single tear fall. They told me I had to be strong, but the adult world does not do fairy tales. Little Charon just stands there, hiding. She is shocked by a nasty argument leaking through the door. How can you call yourself human after doing that? You raised her yourself." A man stammers back, his voice shaking and full of pathetic excuses. Clutching her bear, she hears the brutal truth. "Are you trying to kill her just for some dirty money? Who sent you?" The deeper she looks, the more the dark secrets start to pile up. Deep down, she has one heartbreaking wish. It would be nice if her tiny shadow looks lost, wandering through that massive, terrifyingly empty mansion. The next day, the nanny just stopped showing up. She said she quit because the job was too hard. Was I the one who made it so difficult? Did I make things impossible for her? Was I acting like a spoiled brat too much? After wrestling with the guilt, she drops her teddy bear right on the floor and decides, like some tiny grown-up, "From now on, I will not be a brat. I will not make things hard for anyone ever again. That way, maybe people will not keep leaving me." But there was one moment that felt so real when I was little. Life's big plot twist showed up as something totally harmless. Dumplings. Yeah, you heard me right. Dumplings. Those tiny feet in white socks were racing across the wooden floor, totally hyped for those dumplings. That was the day the chef finally decided to whip them up. Just as she was about to dig in, oh boy. She froze in terror as the chef collapsed on the floor, gasping and choking. The look in her eyes said it all. The poor kid just covers her face, blue eyes wide with shock as a real-life murder unfolds right in her own home. That miserable woman clutches her throat, her face turning pale as she gasps for air, desperately whispering for help. "Save me. Please help me. Please, someone help me. I do not want to die like this." A shadow of death lingers as the cold, terrifying report comes in. Cause of death? Poisoning. They found toxic chemicals hidden right inside those dumplings the victim had been eating. Lesson learned. Never eat anything anyone else cooks in these family drama movies. After the millionth shock, the little girl just retreats back into her lonely corner again. She grabs her teddy and realizes a hard truth. Since that day, I never saw the chef again. Every single time I start feeling happy, people just up and leave me. The shadows of all those adults just flicker and vanish from her memories, like someone snapped their fingers and erased them. Both mom and dad are just gone. The nanny, even the chef, it felt like everyone was ditching her. Then, a final blow to her fate landed on the lonely kid. From today on, you are living with your grandfather. She is secretly terrified because Grandpa is scary as hell. The camera looks up at this powerful chairman, his overwhelming presence looming as he reaches out with a massive hand. Being a good girl, I just did it. I felt like I had no choice. I was only 6 years old back then. Now, time jumps forward, the memories fade, and welcome back to the dark reality. That villain Montebello flashes a smile that is way too friendly for a bad guy, but his soft words dig deep into his prey's mind. Word on the street is you come from a rich family, but honestly, you and I aren't that different, are we? A wicked grin spreads across Montebello's face. He loves watching that dark crown mess with her head, seeing just how easy it is to trigger all her deep-seated childhood trauma. Makarine Chernenvohan sinks deeper into the abyss of her dark memories. Poking at her obsession was just way too easy for him. The madman stares at his masterpiece. Well, looks like she will be breaking any minute now. Still, just a kid, huh? He turns to Martyr Aurelian. Even tied to a chair, the old man still carries himself with a serious, dignified air. He bellows in anger. "You're not letting her go? That girl has nothing to do with me, so release her right now, Montebello." He turns around slowly, tossing a compliment to the old master. "As expected from a top-tier craftsman, you can actually resist my mental control. Pretty impressive willpower." Aurelian snorts, his eyes showing zero fear. "Is that all you've got? Wasn't I your target all along?" The villain brushes back his hair with a mysterious grin. At first, yeah, you totally were. But now, he strokes Charon's hair like a prize toy. She's become way more important than you. Thinking cash solves everything, the old man growls. Don't tell me. Are you just after money? If it is cash, I can give you as much as you want. The jewelry tycoon still does not get how insane these cultists are. Money? Tebbeling leans in close, mocking him with a smirk. Do you really think our group, Pandemonium, cares about something as pathetic and ordinary as money? Aurelian is totally confused. Then why? But the villain shuts him down. You do not need to know. Just as he is acting all cool, a henchman bursts in, ruining the moment. Director Monobelm, sir, what is going on? The guards from the investigation bureau are raiding this place. Wait, what? That news hits like a lightning bolt, killing Tebeling's smile instantly. His confident face wrinkles with panic. He asks himself, how on earth did they find our location? I cleaned up every single trace perfectly so no one could follow us. There is no way they should have been able to find this place. Biting his nails in a total frenzy, Tebeling growls, how did they get here so fast? How is this even happening? His henchman stammers, oh, JGON, they must have leaked the intel. Hearing his archenemy's name, a twisted, crazy smile creeps back onto his face. So, that is how it is. His killing intent explodes. Oh, JGON, you absolute trash. Before he can even process the bad news, his lackey drops another bomb. The rank S hunters from Korea are on their way here, including Director Lee Ha-rin. Io Hana and even Lee Ji-jun are here too. That makes 4 rank S hunters coming for us in total. Tebelin starts breaking out in a serious cold sweat. Io Hana and Lee Ji-jun too? Clenching his fists, he analyzes the situation at lightning speed. The toughest opponents for a mage are always other mages. There is no time left to think about this. We need to pull back right now. Cutting losses and running is the only move. He spins around, barking orders. Everyone, abandon this place and prepare to retreat. Move it. The henchman barely gets out a yes, sir, before an ear-splitting explosion rocks the building. He jumps out of his skin. What the hell was that? Massive force kicks the steel door in. Dust and bricks explode everywhere, trashing the corner of the warehouse. Out of the smoke, eerie blue lightning swirls. A heavy footstep hits the ground, bringing a pressure that feels like it could crush the world. Tebelin squints through the grit, eyes narrowing at the intruder who just crashed the party. Who the hell is this guy? A young guy stands there with insane energy, eyes glowing like deep blue flames. He is pure intimidation personified. TBO. Moon scans the area around the newcomer. I do not feel anyone else here. Are his buddies missing? Arrogant but curious, the leader of Pandemonium yells out, "Hey, you rolling solo or what?" Facing the heat, Siu just gives a cocky smirk, acting totally chill. Man, I do not even have a girlfriend to answer to. If that is what you are asking. The red eyes of the villain TBOM narrow. A twisted smile creeps across his face. Does this punk have a death wish? Do you even have any idea where you are? Thick, bloody magic tentacles start swirling around his body. Before he can even finish speaking, his pupils shrink in pure, stuttering terror. What the? This is totally impossible. The villain's red eyes go wide. He cannot believe his own sight. This is impossible. He just used a regular old fist. Siu throws a massive punch, his hand wrapped in a blazing blue magic fire that literally cracks the space around him. Is this really human power? How can anyone have power that blows past human limits like this? Pushed back, TBL stands there stunned as red magic waves ripple from the impact. What is this? This cannot be happening. He stares at Siu, who is radiating an overwhelming presence. I do not believe it. Where does this insane energy even come from? TBOM starts freaking out, breaking into a cold sweat. Is he actually stronger than before? He grinds his teeth and backs away in fear. Pushed to the edge, TBOM roars. He channels every bit of his red magic, screaming, I do not care how. I am blowing you into another dimension. A stack of complex magic circles appears, forming a deadly attack called Space Illusion. Siu remembers his teacher Hercules warning him never to mess around with mages. If you run into one, try to make them an ally. The muscle-bound teacher clenches his fist, dropping survival tips. But if you cannot make them an ally, you gotta kill them as fast as possible. Totally ruthless advice. Just use your muscles to solve every problem, guys. Snapping out of his memory, Siu stands tall in a sea of glowing blue magic, ready for the final blow. His fist glows with a blinding light, a punch that rips the air apart and breaks physics. Heavenly Destruction Strike. The roar of Hercules echoes in his mind. The martial art of Hercules bends the laws of nature until they break. Then there is the goddess Isis Wingy. Her reality manipulation changes the laws themselves, turning anything you imagine into the real thing. These two ultimate powers blend together, creating a majestic scene of pure destruction and manipulation. Siu throws a punch packed with the power of two gods. Since these powers work so differently, there is no point arguing over which one is better. He lets out a small smirk, totally trusting his own strength. Yeah, this is exactly what I believe in. The divine punch slams into Moontebelem's magic shield. The reality warping of Isis is a massive power, but even with the laws of physics being manipulated, the desperate mage tries to block. It is useless. Against this kind of force, nothing matters anymore. Everything just gets crushed and disappears. A world-shaking explosion erupts, and blue light swallows the villain's entire attack. The smoke clears, showing Siu with one foot on a smashed rock, looking like an absolute boss. Hercules. The guy pushes his hair back with a cocky grin, feeling himself. There is a reason he is called the strongest, even on YouTube, right? Nearby, Moontebelam coughs up a huge puddle of blood. He stares with wide eyes, gasping in horror. The villain's left arm is completely gone, and blood is spraying everywhere. He stumbles, unable to accept the truth. How can power like this exist in the world? Clutching his stump, he shudders, thinking how close he came to dying. If I was just a second slower, if I had been stupid enough to try and block that head-on. Terror and luck flash in his eyes. I had to spam short-range teleports and dodge with everything I had. And yet, the scene slows down as he gets blown away like a piece of paper. Is this really how I go out? Tebellum coughs hard, his hands soaked in fresh blood. Just getting hit by the shockwave of that move was enough to wreck me like this. If I had actually taken the full hit, he smirks to himself, I would not even be alive right now. But his crazy eyes flash with a red, calculated light. They say every cloud has a silver lining. He raises his other hand, using magic to grab Cherry as a human shield. Do you not think so? Just shut up. Siu watches the scene, giving a knowing smirk like he already saw this coming. Exactly as I thought. Dealing with you is a total pain. Another lesson from Hercules floods back. The muscle teacher folds his arms and says, do not fight a mage unless you absolutely have to. Why not? Hercules looks annoyed and explains from experience. They are not easy opponents. How do I put it? They tend to do a lot of unpredictable stuff. The teacher adds one final point. I am saying it is best to avoid mages if you can. But if you have no choice, just make them an ally. Those words from Hercules keep ringing. The teacher clenches his fist with a deadly serious look. And if you cannot even do that, kill them before they can do anything else. Back in the present, Siu has a moment of clarity. So that is it. That is what they meant about taking out the mage first. Seeing his enemy stay still, Moontebelam sneers. A small magic circle on his hand glows red. Just try to move, I dare you. His face twists with madness as his magic binds Cherry tight. I am not going down alone. Siu's mind races as he analyzes the situation. I wanted to end this fast. At my current level, that was my strongest move. Since my special strikes can only be used once per fight, his eyes turn cold. If I really pushed my body, I might be able to squeeze out a second one, but the backlash would be way too risky. Even so, a massive green aura explodes around Siu. His eyes glow a sharp green, even with the risks. With my 2 MSS plus speed, a power that moves in the blink of an eye, I can save them. But he realizes the villain is a high-level space mage. Space and time are basically a package deal. If this guy rules space, it means he owns time too, no exceptions. His legs flare up with blue energy, ready to bolt. Even inside a single frozen second, there is just no telling what kind of crazy moves this dude might pull. He goes full throttle, launching like a blue streak. This ends now. T-Belm just gives a cocky smirk, totally unfazed. He, honestly, I do not care who you are. No clue how you got that power. He spreads his arms, red energy exploding everywhere with crazy eyes, but it is game over. A massive psychic wave blasts straight at Siu. T-Belm brags about his mind control. My S-rank trait hits anyone I can see. No one escapes. Siu is stuck, wrapped in red energy. It is a guaranteed hit. His punch freezes inches away from T-Belm. You are stuck, buddy. Even with god-level power, you are not breaking my mind control. T-Belm dives in. He enters a dark, infinite void. He looks around, totally lost. What is this place? Is this guy's brain empty? He wanders around bragging. Usually, minds are a total mess. I just find the trauma, flip the switch, and take over the whole show. Then he freezes, staring into the nothingness. Wait, why is it empty? There is literally nothing here. Ha! Suddenly, he sees it. A massive shadow of Hek Quien is just pumping iron. Every breath the master takes literally shakes this entire mental world. And that is when the mage realized he messed up. T-Belm chokes, face turning white. I can't breathe. Then a massive voice booms through the void. I am busy training. T-Belm collapses, twitching for air. The voice just keeps going, so do not annoy me. Hek Quien's lion face turns, giving him the ultimate death stare. Get lost. Back in reality, T-Belm gets booted out, screaming as his red energy shatters. He hits the dirt, gasping for air. His head is spinning. What in the world just happened? He grabs his head, panicked by flashes of that giant trainer. But wait, I can't remember a thing. It is like my memory was wiped. Who are you? No answer. Instead, a massive green energy lion appears behind Siu, letting out a silent roar. T-Belm just loses it and screams in total despair. What is that thing? Meanwhile, in the shadows, some mysterious crew is creeping in. Their shadows look super creepy on the blood-stained ground. The guy with glasses stops, ears perked up. Wait, what is that noise? The redhead scowls at the sounds of battle. Scarface thinks for a second. The info we got from Pandemonium is top secret. So, who else knows? Right? Suddenly, savage roars of some angry beasts echo from the tunnel, shaking the entire place. This is not good. Scarface clicks his tongue, eyes narrowing. I have no clue what is going on, but he keeps pushing forward anyway. Whatever, let's just check it out. Back at the fight, T-Belm is panicking. He stumbles back as Siu literally tears his red magic space apart. Siu is glowing green, moving like a blur. He throws a massive punch and mocks him. Where do you think you're going, buddy? Siu doesn't give him a second. He spins into a crazy fast kick, leaving green light trails everywhere. T-Belm is feeling the heat. T-Belm grinds his teeth in pain. Sweating like crazy, the mage stumbles back, waving his arms around. Stay away from me! Belm goes nuts, throwing red lightning webs everywhere to stop him. But Siu does not care. He stays cold, charging right through the sparks like a beast. Eyes wide and sweating, T-Belm watches Siu land combo after combo. He is like a ghost, smashing into the magic shield until everything explodes. Backed into a corner, T-Belm throws his hands up. He screams, ready to fight back. Let's see you handle this. A massive red lightning bolt crashes from the sky with insane power. You're trapped now. Siu just stands there at ground zero. He closes his eyes, focuses his energy, and takes one big step forward. Bright blue light explodes under his boot, snuffing out all the energy around him. First form, let's go. A massive blue magic dragon appears, tearing through everything. Siu is sweating, teeth gritted. Crap, I am at my limit, but I can't stop now. Ignoring the pain, Siu launches forward like a glowing arrow. I have to use every last bit of energy I've got. Moving at warp speed, Siu's eyes go wide. Something's wrong. That jerk just threw the hostage right in front of him. That jerk T-Belm ducks into a portal, smirking. You're too late! He grabs the hostage with a sick smile and vanishes. See ya! In that split second where it felt like game over, a glowing hand reaches out from the void toward T-Belm. But it is too late. The portal shuts, leaving Charon's fate a total mystery. Siu glares at the empty space, sweating but determined. It is not over. I can still feel a tiny bit of his mana left. If I follow him now. Suddenly, he chokes and coughs up blood. The system says reality manipulation is ready, but he is not stopping. I can still catch him. He coughs, face twisted in pain. Did I really burn through that much power already? Somehow I can still warp reality and open a portal to chase him, but I am not sure my body can take the hit. If I mess this up, the cost of this power might actually erase me from existence. But then he sees Charon's lifeless eyes in his head. He grits his teeth. Charon is under some heavy mind control. If her mind snaps, not even an S-rank martial god can save her. With total determination, Siu makes his final choice. Look, it is now or never. Even though my body is screaming and I am running on empty, I am blasting every last bit of red mana I have left. Reaching out into the void, I am howling. I have to catch that jerk, no matter what it takes. Even if it means I have to pay with my own damn life. So, if I do not move right now, we are beyond saving. I have to hunt this guy down, even if it means throwing my entire existence on the line. No turning back. Just as Siu is pushing his red mana to the absolute limit, The mage duo, that redhead girl and the guy with glasses, roll up and just freeze. Their eyes are wide with pure terror, thinking, what in the actual hell is going on here? Drenched in sweat, the guy in glasses stares at a familiar face in the bloody wreckage. Hunter Siu, you are that kid from the forge, and what on earth is that thing supposed to be? Siu turns around looking like he crawled out of a blender, covered in wounds. He gasps for air, his eyes looking totally desperate. Who are you people? Right, I need massive power because I am trying to rewrite the laws of physics here. Suddenly, a spark of hope hits him. His eyes light up as he checks the two of them out. If these genius mages, Hannah and Lee Sejun, can just crack space open for me, we can totally pull this off. We have to move before the enemy even knows what hit them. Covered in sweat, Siu starts rushing them, looking completely panicked. There is zero time for a play-by-play explanation. Can you two use high-level teleportation magic or what? Glasses guy is still standing there like a total ditz when Siu drops the hammer. That kidnapper already vanished with Charon. Four Eyes just stammers back, looking completely lost. Wait, excuse me? What did you say? You mean, I can do it, but why would? Siu lunges toward them, his voice booming as he cuts off their curiosity with an insane level of urgency. We have to hunt him down this second. We need to bridge the leftover scraps of his teleportation spell and follow him wherever the hell he ran off to. After hearing that crazy request, the guy in glasses starts sweating buckets and waving his hands. Once a rift closes, you cannot just patch it back together. Even if we track the mana, we cannot calculate the exact coordinates in space. Looking totally helpless, the guy in glasses delivers the cold, hard truth. It is unfortunate, but chasing him is straight up impossible. Siu glares, cutting him off with pure fire in his eyes. If you two can just crack open the void, I will handle the rest. Boom. The SSS-rank skill interface glows bright above Siu. Surrounded by red light, he makes a bold declaration. SSS-rank reality manipulation. I am going to force these two dimensions to stitch back together. Redhead Hannah, who was just standing there, suddenly goes wide-eyed. Her jaw drops in total disbelief. Huh? What do you even mean? You are doing that right now? Reconnecting broken dimensions is not just some simple trick. Siu loses his cool, scowling and screaming to shut down her lecture. There is no time for a theory lesson. Fine, I will give it everything I have got. Overwhelmed by Siu's insane pressure, the two mages do not dare say another word. They just suck it up and raise their hands, glowing with brilliant blue light to start the incantation. A massive shock wave of blue magical light explodes from the mage's hands, completely illuminating the dark corners of the dusty old warehouse. Seizing his one big chance, Siu lunges forward. His hands are shaking as he struggles to control the violent, swirling mass of red reality energy. The magic detonates, forming a massive pillar of light that pierces the clouds. A powerful voice echoes through the heavens. I am turning the impossible laws of this world into a reality that is completely possible. Siu's face twists in pain, veins popping out on his forehead. He grits his teeth against the mental torture. It feels like my brain is about to shatter into 100 different pieces. My heart is pounding so hard it feels like it is about to explode any second. Standing between the swirling blue magic currents tearing at space, he screams with pure grit, I cannot stop here, even if it kills me. Little Siu gets swallowed whole by a massive, colorful vortex of mana. The space around him starts shattering into brilliant, glowing shards. The magical storm fades, revealing a deep purple portal flickering with dark energy. Siu drops to one knee, coughing up fresh blood as the system alerts him. SSS. Reality Manipulation Mastery has reached 2.1%. The genius mage duo just stands there like statues, staring at the gate that just formed. The guy in glasses hangs his mouth open and stammers. Wait, did he really just connect them? That should be impossible. Siu struggles to lift his head and tells them, please, you two just go on ahead. I will be right behind you. The redhead mumbles in total confusion, staring at the young man. How is this even possible? Kid, I mean Siu, what kind of crazy monster are you supposed to be anyway? Cutting them off, the guy with the scarred face steps up. Look, I do not care what is going on here. We have to hurry up and save Han Charon right now. With that, Scarface nods to his subordinate in the sunglasses. The rest of you, clean up this entire mess and make sure young Master Aurelian stays safe and sound. Let's move. The three reinforcements take steady steps and walk straight into the glowing purple magical vortex. Leaving a solid promise behind for Siu, they vow to handle everything waiting on the other side of that gate. Meanwhile, in another dimension, The villain Tebelm has landed in a strange white room covered in magical seals and talismans. He leans back, gasping for air like he just ran a marathon. It is a shame I had to leave Aurelian behind. But then he remembers the pure, blinding rage of that muscle-bound monster Siu, and Tebelm starts sweating buckets. He lets out a crazy laugh just to comfort himself. Just the fact that I actually survived an encounter with that arrogant, monstrous bastard is a total miracle in itself. That is more than enough luck. Smirking wickedly, he looks over at his prize. Charon is tied up and battered, her hair a total mess. A blood-red crown of magical thorns floats above her head. Best of all, Han Charon is finally right here. He strokes his chin, clearly satisfied as he analyzes her. Look at her state. This girl is right on the edge of a total mental breakdown. A creepy, twisted smile spreads across the face of the evil mage. He is already dreaming of a very bright future for himself. That means, very soon, she will be mine. But the joy does not last long. Suddenly, he doubles over, clutching his chest, coughing up a pile of nasty black blood in pure agony. Clutching his bloody left shoulder, Tebelm winces and mumbles to himself, looking absolutely pathetic. Losing my left arm is just a small price to pay, but the mana circuits inside my entire body are completely trashed now. At this rate, I might never be able to use magic again for the rest of my life. But a crazy, relieved smile hits his sweaty face as he looks around his safe house. The main thing is that I survived. Space is totally sealed off. There is no way that guy can follow me here. Suddenly, the space right behind his smug face starts warping. A massive, mystical purple and black vortex rips right through the quiet air. Sensing the massive shockwave happening right behind him, Tebelm whips his head around, his pupils shrinking in pure terror. What in the hell is this? Out of that glowing magical gate, Scarface and that redhead mage Hannah step out like literal gods descending to earth. Tebelm's eyes are twitching with straight-up panic as he breaks into a cold sweat. Is the connection actually live? Did it really happen? He stumbles back, pale as a ghost, thinking about that nightmare Siu. No way. There is no way that guy is actually here right now. But after staring at the gate for a second, his mouth twists into a creepy, villainous smirk. He realizes his enemy is missing in action. Standing before Feda's backup, the crazy mage locks his hands behind his back and laughs like a total maniac. Ha ha ha. The long-haired guy scowls, clearly fed up with this dude's arrogant attitude and annoying ego. He asks coldly, "Did you lose your mind? You see 4 S-rank hunters and start laughing? What is so funny?" Tebelm's grin gets even more twisted as he replies with pure disgust. "Of course it is funny, you absolute idiot. Watching losers like you show up here is hilarious. Dark red energy floods the entire room, suffocating everyone. You really think you can actually do something to me?" On the floor, a bunch of complex magic circles start glowing bright red like fresh blood. Do you guys even have a clue why I came here? The hunters freeze by the portal, trapped in the enemy's swirling dark power. I can't believe you idiots just walked right into my trap. The red-headed girl looks down and turns pale, sweating bullets. Those are massive amplification magic circles under our feet. The guy with glasses is shaking too, feeling the insane pressure on his shoulders. That creep's magic energy is literally taking over the entire area. Tebom's purple eyes glow with pure madness. He spreads his arms and shouts with total confidence. This place is my own private stage. Suddenly, the whole room turns into a massive red magic trap, locking everyone inside. Under the suffocating pressure of the spell, the 3-0 hunters are struggling to even breathe. Ifong is hunched over, grimacing in pain. TBL's eyes glow blood red like a literal demon. He bares his teeth and starts talking about his special trait. My mind control has reached a whole new level in this place. I literally have the power of total dominion now. The room is stained, a creepy red, as magic seeps into every crack, controlling the air and even the speed of the wind itself. From the outside, the massive building is wrapped in red energy, making the ground shake and the sky tremble. Even space and time, all the laws of this world, are under my command here. He stands tall like some evil god while the hunters collapse under the weight of his mental pressure. He arrogantly declares his final judgment. If I order you to kneel, you must kneel. And if I order you to die, you have absolutely no choice but to drop dead right now. In this realm, I am the Lord and Master. He grins wide, showing all his teeth, ready to deliver the final killing blow. Now then, just as he is about to finish his sentence, a massive green beam of light blasts out of the half-open portal. TBM flinches as the energy tears through the atmosphere at high speed. It is happening. The light is overwhelming and intense. It keeps coming and coming, glowing with a red intensity, red-eared energy, tearing through the space like a nightmare that just will not end. Red ears, red energy everywhere. He frantically swings his arms, firing off massive bolts of dark lightning to try and stop the incoming green light. The collision is huge, sparking everywhere as he tries to maintain control of the situation while his power fades. He is yelling, pushing back with every ounce of red-eared energy he has left in his body right now. He screams out in rage, so even if he actually steps inside here, even if he steps in, as soon as he says it, his smug face falls apart. Tebiom's eyes go wide with pure terror and he breaks out in a cold sweat. He finally realizes the horrible truth. If he enters, the image of that muscular god, Hercules, roaring in his mind, brings a wave of absolute terror with it. That means I have already. The arrogant mage's back suddenly looks small and shaky in the dead silence. He is sweating buckets, his face twisted in total panic as he mumbles to himself in complete and utter hopelessness. Oh, no. A giant blue spirit of the jacked Hercules appears right behind him. He speaks in a deep, threatening voice. I am pretty sure I warned you about this already. The god's lion-like face gets right in the poor mage's grill. He growls out every single word with pure rage. You are trying to block me, aren't you? The mage gets blown away like a dry leaf in a hurricane by the green power. He screams bloody murder as he flies through the air. He spins out of control, looking pathetic against that destructive force. Back in the real world, the hero sticks a super cool landing while the villain faceplants right into the broken concrete. You really picked a fight with the gym god? You are lucky if a massive brain injury is all you walk away with. Flattened on the cold ground, Tebiom is done. At the same time, those glowing red magic circles he was so proud of start cracking and shattering into sparkling glass shards before vanishing into thin air. The older guy lets out a huge sigh of relief, looking around in shock. Phew, is the magic finally broken? He watches Siu walk away, leaving the villain motionless on the ground. He can't hide his surprise. What the heck just happened? As for Tebiom, he tries to lift his head, his red eyes now filled with nothing but trembling panic. His pupils shrink in pure terror when he sees Siu's shadow. He starts stuttering and begging, please, don't come any closer. Under Siu's cold, emotionless stare, the mage's mind completely snaps. He crawls backward, flailing his arms and legs around like he has lost his damn mind. Stay away, stay away. I told you to stay away from me. Don't come any closer. Siu clenches his fist and keeps walking, totally ignoring the piece of trash crying at his feet. Please, don't come near me. Please, I am begging you, just stop right there. Ignoring the loser, Siu slowly walks toward the girl tied up on the floor. He calls out her name softly. Shireen. He lets out a painful sigh. Han Shireen slowly looks up, but her blue eyes are totally blank and lifeless. It is like her mind fell into a bottomless pit. He bends down and slowly reaches out his hand toward the little girl who is lost deep in her own trauma. He drops to one knee to untie her, looking her straight in the eye with a gentle gaze. Shireen, don't try to carry this alone. His eyes are full of sincerity as he warns her. If you keep holding everything in, it will eventually eat you alive. Even though her face is totally expressionless, he keeps talking to her with genuine kindness and care. Sometimes you just need to let go and look the other way. In the middle of the messy room, his warm voice reminds her that she is the youngest daughter of the SH group and a key player in the Hunter division. A girl who always has to carry everyone's heavy expectations on her shoulders. He looks down, his voice full of deep empathy. I might never truly understand the horrible burdens Han Shireen has had to deal with in her life. There is honestly no way for me to ever fully know her pain. But then, his strong, warm hand gently rests on her trembling shoulder to try and comfort her. He looks up directly into those lifeless eyes and firmly tells her that the way the world sees her right now, it does not have to define who you actually are. As her haunting, broken memories swirl in her mind, his words echo. You do not have to struggle so hard to piece together every single broken fragment of your life story. Just let the light come in. That meaningless life, just toss it in the trash. In her pitch-black subconscious, Siu shines like a hero opening the door to the light, rescuing a girl shivering in the dark. Hey, being imperfect is totally fine. It is cool even if you are broken into pieces. Siu looks at her gently, speaking straight from the heart. Only then can you actually give a damn about anyone else. Boom! His noble soul skill, humanity, justice, wisdom, SSS-rank starts glowing. Siu flashes a sunny grin that kills the gloom. Think about yourself first, Che Ring. He gently steadies her exhausted shoulders, refueling her spirit. Look, it is okay to be selfish sometimes. You need the guts to be disliked. He leans close, his intense gaze planting seeds of hope in her hollow stare. You do not need everyone to love you. Che Ring gasps, looking up at him, her pale lips trembling as she whispers his name. Tears spill out. Her blank eyes snap wide like she is waking from a nightmare, staring at him in total shock. Siu, why are you here? Seeing she is finally back to reality, Siu closes his eyes, letting out a massive sigh of relief. Finally, the pressure is off. Then, without wasting a second, he pulls her into a hug with a huge, satisfied grin. I am so happy right now. Che Ring. In the background, Scarface and the mage girl are twitching, knowing there is still work to do. Siu spins around to the backup crew, eyes sharp and ready for the next move. Hey guys, you down to lend me a hand? Cut to the news. Headlines worldwide are blowing up over the epic rescue of Aurelian and Han Che Ring. 0 casualties. Praise is pouring in from every corner of the globe. Even the United Nations is thanking South Korea for their lightning-fast response. Meanwhile, in a secret room, a lone phone sits silently on a desk, chilling in his chair with his legs crossed. A mysterious blue-haired dude smirks. So, it is true. Moon Taebyum finally got taken down. His lackey reports with a shaky voice. Sir, you might find this hard to believe. It was not the S-rank hunters who took him out. Apparently, Siu handled it all by himself. The lackey, eyes sharp as a razor, carefully finishes his report. The boss waves him off. Done and done. Blue Hair taps his fingers on the table, his eyes flashing with a dangerous plan. That Siu kid. He is definitely no ordinary player. I seriously did not think he could crush an executive-level enemy like that so easily. His wicked grin stretches from ear to ear. The kid is an arrogant brat, honestly unbearable, but that ego actually worked in our favor this time. He calmly starts plotting the next move. What is the status of pandemonium in the Gyeonggi region? Now that Moon Taebyum and his core team are gone, it will be easy for you, branch manager, to seize control of everyone left. The branch manager laughs, drunk on power. I am loving this. With Jo Buk Cheon and that nuisance Moon Taebyum out of the way, everything is going exactly as planned. Suddenly, the door slams open. A soldier rushes in, sweating bullets and ruining the vibe. Branch manager, we have got a massive problem with pandemonium in Gyeonggi. The soldier screams in despair. They said everyone was wiped out. The branch manager flinches, his smug grin vanishing instantly. What did you just say? The lackey trembles, listing the total disaster. First Gwanggu, then Suwon, Paju, Busan, and Ansan. Every single pandemonium base in the Gyeonggi region have been hit by the S-rank hunters. The boss goes ballistic, his eyes full of pure rage. What kind of sick joke is this? Are you telling me the whole Gyeonggi area was uprooted? Those investigators were not supposed to have any way to track our bases down. The soldier wipes his sweat, cautiously dropping a bombshell. I am afraid Moon Taebyum, the guy in charge, might have leaked the locations. Hearing the bad news, the boss flops into his chair, head in his hands. Wait, was there not a geese-binding oath placed on him? Suddenly, his eyes bulge as he realizes the absolute worst-case scenario. He actually broke the binding oath? His fingers slam onto the table, shaking uncontrollably. This is impossible. No one just breaks a geese oath. It is practically impossible, but it is the only answer, if this is true. His face falls into the shadows, filled with pure panic. Does that mean Jo Buk Cheon's oath was broken too? Jo Buk Cheon is an executive who knows all the cult secrets. That is exactly why we were trying so hard to take him out. He clenches his teeth, exploding in rage. Damn it! If the oath is broken, then every bit of our intel has definitely leaked out. The image of a glowing red puppet controller floats above his head, mocking him. We are not the ones pulling the strings, are we? We are just dancing in the palm of their hand. The branch manager squints, veins popping on his forehead, as he screams in frustration. Who was it? Who the hell broke the oath and turned us all into clowns? The tense atmosphere is suddenly shattered when a bald guy walks in holding a tablet, sounding totally hesitant. Branch manager, we have got... The boss snaps, completely fed up. What now? The lackey timidly answers. On Siu's YouTube channel, there is a video just like the one we uploaded. A similar video just went live. Grabbing the phone, the boss stares at the screen with wide eyes. What did you just say? The phone screen glows. A video starts playing with bold, provocative text right in his face. Next up is, cut to Siu looking like a total boss, pointing his finger right at the lens and calling him out. You! Unable to handle the disrespect, the boss hand tightens, crushing the phone until it is nothing but a pile of broken glass and scrap. His lip twitches in pure fury. He screams his enemy's name with absolute hatred. Sue! Sue! While the villains are fuming, we head to the peaceful top floor of the SH Group headquarters. Our heroic scarred hunter sits properly, bowing his head as the family thanks him. Seriously, thank you. The chairman of SH Group, Han Taeson, looks sharp with his silver hair. He smiles warmly and makes a big promise. Because of you, our Che ring is safe. If you want anything, just say the word. I will give you whatever you desire. Hearing this massive promise, Glasses Guy and the redhead start sweating, scratching their heads awkwardly. Well, we did not really. Cringe memories flood back as they remember getting sucked into the magic circle and passing out cold instantly. Glasses Guy sweats, admitting the pathetic truth. All we did was, well, scream and faint. We were supposed to be the backup, but we just ended up being comic relief. Just then, Scarface steps forward with a dead serious expression, sweating a little as he speaks up. Chairman, actually. Perched on a pricey sofa, this scarred dude folds his hands and nervously asks the billionaire, so, have you ever heard of a hunter named Meng Xiu? Cut to the forge. This red-haired mage walks up to Xiu, who is turned away, and says with total sincerity, thank you, Hunter Meng Xiu. She is looking at him with hard eyes, reporting that the Pandemonium crew and those other crime lords are still around, but they are totally trashed. One thing is for sure, those thugs just took a massive hit. She looks at him like he is a straight-up god. Since Pandemonium hit Korea, nobody has pulled off anything this insane. Xiu shuts his eyes, waving his hands around all embarrassed because he has no idea how to handle this much praise. Hey, no need for thanks. Director G over at the Investigation Bureau also wanted me to pass along his gratitude to you. The second he hears that name, Xiu's face drops. He starts sweating. Director G? Whatever. I only did this for my own personal reasons. I do not want anything to do with that guy ever again. Xiu's eyes go cold and sharp. This was just the price for him ignoring my warning. Period. I am just out here protecting the people I care about. The redhead gives him a sweet look. Suddenly, the wooden door of the forge slams open. They both whip their heads around, curious about the high-profile guests who just stepped into the sunny courtyard of the forge. Standing there is a white-haired old man in a fancy black suit and fur coat. He speaks in a deep, warm voice. Found you. A giant, bald bodyguard stands right behind him as the old man approaches Xiu, who is still wearing his dirty blacksmith apron. Master Aurelian looks at Xiu with these sad, sweaty eyes and stammers that he does not know how to thank him enough. The old man looks down, his wrinkled face showing nothing but deep regret. I came here to apologize for being such a total jerk. Xiu is totally lost. Like, what? Ben is just being a good little blacksmith helper, and then this world-class legend shows up to bow and apologize? Aurelian closes his eyes, a bitter smile creeping onto his lips. You know, I was once a genius. Flashback time. Young Aurelian is looking legendary, glowing with power as he announces his awakening as a top S-rank alchemist. I crushed goals that others could not even dream of. If it was dangerous, I was the first one to try it. Back to now. The old man sighs. People called me a master, but I was never satisfied. We see a vision of him sprinting toward the clouds, chasing new peaks, chasing a higher level. I pushed myself like a racehorse, but then I hit a massive wall of blinding light. Suddenly, the wall of the gods blocked my path. I fought it. We see him get blasted back by that divine light. Crossing that line? Yeah, it was totally impossible. Aurelian stares at the fading light, looking exhausted and crushed by pressure. I thought nobody could ever challenge me. The truth is, I could not even beat myself. Sitting alone in the cold forge, he looks hollow. It hurts when I look in the mirror. I realized I hated alchemy. Me, the guy who loved it more than anyone else on this earth. Xiu and the redhead listen closely. That sword I made for Han Charon, that was supposed to be my final masterpiece. I lost my confidence. I did not think I could make anything great again. Then, he sees a vision of Xiu's incredible magic smithing. Then I met you. I was floored. You totally convinced me. But part of me was also just straight up jealous and petty. I am sorry for my trash attitude. Aurelian smiles sadly at Xiu, looking satisfied but weary. If only I had met you a little sooner. Maybe I could have changed more. If things were different, maybe I would still love being an alchemist. Aurelian turns away, his voice sounding tired and heavy. He sighs and looks back at Xiu. I am just too weak and old to fix this broken body now. If only I had known you. Just a little sooner. Aurelian walks away, filled with regret. I will keep the promise I made before I head back to France. I wanted to see true alchemy one last time, but now I am just letting go of everything. Xiu lets out a confident smirk. You do not need divine alchemy, sir. Xiu looks at him and asks a random question. You ever hear of a guy named Confucius, one of the sages? A bright blue magic aura glows around Shu. It is pure benevolence and wisdom, triple S power. He smiles wide and starts dropping some knowledge. Confucius had the same thoughts. Like, if you are just starting now, does that mean everything from the past was a total waste? Back then, people usually died by age 37. Confucius did not even start his journey until he was 50 years old. By today's standards, that is like starting at over 100. Confucius walked through a war-torn world, pursuing his dream while everything was in chaos. Shu continues the story. Shu's eyes burn with passion. By the end of his journey, that man became one of the 3 greatest sages the world has ever known. So, what makes you think you cannot reach your own dream? Our boy Shu is out here giving TED Talks now. Aurelian is shaking, sweating, and totally moved as he asks a question. You really think I can do it? Shu steps forward with a warm smile. Of course, there is no such thing as being too late. He claps the old man on the shoulder. You finally figured out where to put your strength, right? Aurelian is speechless, his eyes glowing with a new realization. He finally lets out a peaceful smile. Kid, you just saved my life 2 times. The old man stands tall, looking like his youth just came flooding back. It is a fresh start. The room goes quiet until Siu raises a finger with a wild, game-changing idea. Why do you not try waking up those legendary senses and craft some gear for a live demonstration? The guy points at the redhead eavesdropping and gives a devious grin. Why not make some gear for Mindung right here? She completely loses it, stuttering and panicking that it is a terrible idea. Siu pressures her with logic she cannot dodge. Look, the only reason we were able to survive today was thanks to the help from Mindung here. Mindung blushes hard and waves her hands, desperately trying to decline the credit. No, all of this belongs to Hunter Siu. That gear definitely should go to him. Siu scratches his head and grins, hyping her up to the sky. I could only work with a totally clear head because you were patrolling and guarding my home, Mindung. The truth is, I am getting way too much help here. Mindung gets shy and flustered, saying there is no way that is true. Siu looks at her with total faith. You are a talented inspector guard, and you are more than worthy of using Aurelian's gear. Aurelian smiles kindly and nods, saying he has heard about the hard-working Korean inspectors. They are people who work hard for this world. Very well, I will make it for you. Mindung is floored, her mouth hanging open for 5 seconds while she processes the news. Deal closed. Aurelian tells Siu he has to head back to France first to bring back the pure Oriicum for him. Oh, and it might sound a bit shameless, but Siu smirks and calls him out. You want to watch and learn my Oriicalcum refining process, right? Just so you know, my tuition is pretty expensive. Aurelian starts sweating when the kid begins listing the high price tag for the lesson. 1 part for the seminar prize, 1 for saving my life, and 1 for the observation fee. What do you think about 3 pieces of Orihalcum? Siu rubs his chin like a real professional hustler. Ahem. That does not leave much profit, does it? But then he laughs, crossing his arms and making a final call. Whatever. Let us celebrate your fresh start. I will give you a special discounted price. Aurelian reaches out, sealing a historic deal between 2 master smiths. I will be back in 2 weeks. I will also have the gear ready for this lovely girl by then. The door chimes as it closes, ending a deal full of heart and capitalist vibes. The second they leave, Siu closes his eyes in pure joy, grinning from ear to ear. 3 pieces of Orihalcum? This is absolutely freaking amazing. With this, I can craft way more than just gauntlets. What kind of gear should I build? Meanwhile, the red-haired mage Hannah looks at Siu, totally awkward, and thanks him. Siu laughs it off like it is nothing. Do not sweat it. Thanks to you, I will get to use Master Aurelian's legendary gear. Siu suddenly leans in close with a charming smile that makes the redhead jump and turn bright red. Consider it my way of asking you to look after me. So please, keep looking after my place. She clutches her racing heart, her eyes glowing. Hannah is shy but determined, promising she will give it her absolute best effort. Too embarrassed to look him in the eye for another second, she bolts out the door, leaving Siu standing there alone. I am heading out now. Feeling satisfied with how things are going, Siu rolls up his sleeves. All right, let us think up some gear designs. Yeah, that is it. Suddenly he stops, eyes wide and mouth open, looking back toward the door. Wait, what? Yeah, outside, the usually cold and powerful mage is skipping across the stone bridge like a happy child. Siu just sweats, speechless at the sight and forcing a helpless laugh. Ending the fluffy and funny vibes, we cut to a super high-class office, the headquarters of the SH Group. A powerful figure watches the gorgeous sunset over the city. The door opens and a respectful voice asks if they were called. The chairman does not turn around, coldly telling them to enter. Chairman Han Tae-san turns with a sharp, deep gaze and slowly makes a final decision. I believe I need to meet this Meng Shu guy in person. The secretary freezes, sweating. You mean personally, sir? He quickly bows 90 degrees in total obedience, promising to prepare everything immediately. Alone now, the chairman mumbles the name that is currently shaking the entire underworld. Meng Shu, huh? Back to our main guy. The muscular god Hurricus is currently screaming his head off across the room. This is the final round. They are in a B+ rank dungeon, and Siu is carrying a massive stone pillar. He groans in pain, but the Blue Master yells, Squat! Stop your whining when you are only lifting over 5,000 tons. Drenched in sweat, Siu pants and complains it is way too heavy. Hurakos flexes his glowing muscles, preaching about risking your life for gains. Siu grits his teeth, wondering why this workout is harder than fighting Moon Tabellum. Seriously, how is this harder than that last boss fight? I mean way, way harder. Seriously, this is peak suffering. I am at my absolute limit. Siu drops the rock, crashing it into the ground. I quit. He lies there on the floor, gasping for air. Haha. The spirit teacher just shakes his head. You are still such a weakling. But then he changes his tone. Siu looks up in confusion as Hurricus says he is still better than the fly from before. A fly? Hurricus grumbles, remembering when a tiny fly annoyed him during a workout. He did not want to waste energy on it, so he just told the little thing to beat it. Siu stares, shocked. The fly just panicked? That sounds actually hilarious. Siu just sweats while lying there on the ground, wondering if that is really true. Suddenly, Siu's eyes glow blue. His brain starts moving fast as he connects the dots. Wait, do not tell me. He smirks, realizing the truth behind the boss's pathetic state. So that is why Moon Tabellum suddenly acted like that? I wondered why he ended up like that. He imagines the giant Hurricus looking down at the tiny Tabellum. Tabellum was a swordsman back at that time. Hanta was boosted hundreds of times by a magic circle. Siu scratches his head, laughing nervously at the facts. Man, it felt like he peered straight through my skull into that GodHub world. Ha! I was honestly curious if that big-shot director of Pandemonium was actually tied down by some magical contract or not. Standing by that girl in black, his face was all serious and broody, yet he didn't even slip up on his oath once. But then, he just spilled everything. No fight, no nothing. He gave up every Pandemonium hideout in Gyeonggi. Hurakos is over there grumbling, probably because the guy is just some pathetic, weak-ass wizard. Siu just stood there, staring at his beefy mentor in total shock. So, Hurakos was the one who actually broke the curse. Well, not just broke it, he absolutely pulverized it. Siu went ghost white, sweating buckets as he realized how terrifying that power really was. I mean, can one single shout really do all that damage? So he didn't just wreck the guy's mind, he actually shattered the curse itself too? Siu stared at that massive blue spirit, still processing it. A guy I couldn't even scratch with all my power got deleted by a single word. That's just insane. Siu's face cramped up, eyes darting around in pure panic after Hurakos warned him. He swore right then, never again. Then, boom, a notification popped up. Training complete. His phone screen lit up, making Siu yell. The result was in. Superpower Mastery, rank SS, level 30. 924% plus 0.002%. Siu's eyes popped. Total shock. Wait, what is this? He held his phone, looking completely lost when Hurakos asked what was up. For some weird reason, my mastery barely even moved. Hurakos looked over and asked how much it went up. It was only 0.02%. Hurakos heard that pathetic number and went quiet for a second. Suddenly, his eyes got all sharp and serious. Something was definitely up. He pointed his finger straight ahead and said, It seems the time has come. Siu froze, clutching his phone in total confusion. The time? What do you mean by that? Hurakos stood there like a tank, arms crossed. His voice was like steel. I mean, the time has arrived. You have finally hit your absolute growth limit. Hurakos didn't sugarcoat it. Given your trash talent, he said, the progress you have made so far is actually pretty hilarious. Siu just sweated and laughed. Yeah, fair point. I started with 0 special traits, which is why I could even learn from GodHub. The blue spirit stood tall amidst all that wreckage. He kept the lesson going. That divine power you picked up on GodHub, it is not just about your growth pushing up your mastery levels. Basically, Siu blinked, listening like his life depended on it. Mastery is just a number showing your growth. If you stop growing, that number stops moving too. If you are stuck at 30%, Hirako's pointed right at him, dropping a truth bomb. That is the hard limit of your potential. Siu just frowned, staring at his phone. So you are saying it is not just my double S power? Every other trait is going to hit a wall eventually too, right? Seeing his student looking all broody, Hirako spoke up to chill him out. Don't sweat it too much, he said. If you don't quit and keep grinding, you will eventually smash through those limits. Siu nodded to himself. Yeah, just gotta keep pushing. Siu imagined his future self. That skinny kid replaced by a mountain of muscle, with a notification showing double S power mastery at a full 100%. Then reality hit him like a truck. His face soured. Man, with only 0.02% per session, how many years is this gonna take? That Zhugliang insight skill, rank S+, kicked in again. Siu looked all philosophical, eyes getting real sharp for a second. The real problem is my lack of talent, but what if there's a workaround? A spark lit up in his mind, a vision of a perfect, glowing divine body. What if I max out my rank S+ divine mastery? If I reach that legendary level and fully transform into a god, what happens then? But then his face crumpled like he just ate a lemon. I have been grinding so hard already, he muttered. He looked at his phone, worried. Lately, the meds haven't even been working. I figured it was just my body acting up. Siu scratched his cheek, looking a bit awkward. But hey, there are ways to cook up stronger stuff. You can find all the recipes in the videos on Hua Tuo's channel. A video of Hua Tuo popped up, his wise voice echoing over images of herbs. Herbs and poisons? They are basically the same. Everything in nature uses toxins to survive. By soaking up that survival essence more effectively, you will absorb nature's own life force. That, my boy, is the true heart of pharmacology. Siu started sweating, his face going pale. Eating poisonous herbs? If it was just regular poison, maybe, but even that is totally insane when you think about it. He remembered the scariest recipe yet. A giant pufferfish appeared in his mind. Mixing pufferfish venom with actual mercury? How is that even a thing? That is basically just telling me to go kick the bucket. Siu looked totally regretful and confessed. Yeah, I tried it. And yeah, I almost died. He snapped out of it and started plotting again. I could survive if I only took a tiny dose, but that method would take way too long. So there is only one choice left. His phone showed a wild new channel title, Secret Immortal Meat Recipe, revealed by my own severed head. Then there was a hydra in a chef's apron. Business is booming, selling meat from my own heads. Siu just hit subscribe. Hirako stood there looking totally lost. Huh? Why the heck are we suddenly talking about a hydra? Before Siu could even explain, a massive info card for the 9-headed monster popped up. The hydra's main head is immortal. Cut one off, and it just grows back forever. Hirakos gave a nostalgic little smile. Man, that takes me back. I heard it lives by cutting off its own heads and selling them as meat. Apparently, it is delicious. The buff god looked at him with a straight face. We should go grab a bite sometime. Siu just stared at his mentor, speechless. The guy sells his own heads as snacks? You have to be insane to understand GodHub. Hirakos got back to business. But why are you watching a Hydra channel now? Siu looked a bit embarrassed. I was hoping to pick up some poison resistance. Poison resistance? Hirako seemed surprised. Siu just grinned and explained that out of all the Hydra's powers, its god-killing venom is easily the most lethal. Hirakos nodded slowly. Yeah, Master Kairan got hit with that stuff. In the end, he actually had to take his own life to stop the pain. Siu continues, Hydra's venom is called the God Slayer. It can drop an immortal because the agony is literally unbearable and there is no cure. In a flashback, we see Chiron on his knees before Zeus, broken by the pain. So, after getting poisoned, Chiron went to Zeus and traded his immortality just so he could finally die. Siu smirks. That is why they call it the God Slayer. It kills gods by making them crave death itself. Imagine these snakeheads spitting toxic green gas. Hydra's fluids are lethal, but the beast is immune to its own venom, right? Meaning its poison resistance is beyond god tier. Siu stares at the screen. Immortality isn't just for snakes. Maybe subscribing to Hydra's channel gives me that same immunity. Hirakos thinks it over, then nods. Honestly, that crazy plan might actually be our best shot. Siu dreams of a future where he has that immunity. He could chug all the divine potions he wanted without a single side effect. But then, Siu's eyes pop. There is one massive, wallet-killing problem on his phone screen. Welcome to the Hydra channel membership. Choose your tier for ad-free streaming and personalized algorithm recommendations. The price tag for the Hydra membership? It is just a ridiculous string of zero after zero. Holding the phone, Siu turns pale. He stares at those terrifying numbers. The registration fee is a staggering 8.8 billion won. Back at the forge, our boy is wearing an apron and letting out a massive, soul-crushing sigh. He's freaking out, pulling his hair. Even if he sells 3 blocks of orichalcum in 2 weeks, it is still not enough. How can he craft anything? How the heck is he supposed to cough up 8 billion won every month? He slumps on the floor, shoulders heavy with total despair. Suddenly, the door flies open and light floods the room. Siu jumps, looking back with a confused face. A tall man walks in. Siu asks who it is, but the stranger just asks, "Are you the blacksmith, Siu?" Siu's eyes go wide. He squints, studying the guest, and then it finally clicks. He knows this guy. He stammers out the name of the man with the beard, Chairman Han Tae-san, the legend behind SH Group. They sit on wooden stools. Siu awkwardly asks what brings him by. The chairman bows slightly, apologizing for the sudden and unannounced visit. The old man stays silent, his eyes sharp like a hawk's, reading the kid. Siu is sweating bullets, sitting stiff as a board. It is hard to believe this kid, who looks brand new to society, saved Aurelian and Shireen. His gaze deepens. He tells himself that what you see isn't always the truth. He's seen that 1,000 times climbing to the top. Looking at the average blacksmith, he remembers the guy you think is a nobody is often the one doing the impossible. Don't judge a book by its cover. He drops the intensity, smiles warmly, and says he heard the whole story. You saved my granddaughter, Shireen. As her grandfather, I truly want to thank you. Siu just laughs and waves it off. I didn't do it alone, Siu says. But the chairman is firm. He insists on rewarding the favor. Repayment? Siu's eyes light up, looking totally devious. He leans in and asks, like what? What are we talking here? Han Tae-san waves a hand. Anything. Just ask. If it is within my power, it's yours. He figures that for high-level hunters, money is basically worthless. Most of the elite warriors he has met feel the same. For the strong, it is all about self-growth, not cash. They need things that money simply cannot buy. Man, this old guy is overthinking it. Siu is just sitting there with a greedy little smirk on his face. Chairman Han encourages him to speak up. He's dying to know what kind of legendary request the boy has. Siu holds up a finger, acting all shy. Would you mind if I bumped up my tutoring fees just a little bit? The chairman's eye twitches. A million question marks float around his head. He stutters. Tutoring fees? Are you serious? Wait, you're asking for money? Siu starts sweating and bargaining. How about 5 billion won? Is 5 billion a month too much? When Han stays silent, Siu panics. Okay, 4 billion? 3? I was just joking. How about 2 billion won? The chairman is just baffled. Is this kid seriously haggling with me? He watches Siu practically beg with puppy dog eyes. Siu makes a final offer 1 billion. Han's face goes cold as he tries to figure this guy out. Forget the money talk. We cut to the SH Guild's underground training center, where Shireen is swinging her sword like a woman possessed. Sweat pours down her face. She's biting her lip, gasping for air. Her hands shake as she grips that wooden sword. Watching her push past her limits, her bodyguard stands in the shadows, completely speechless. He's terrified for her. He mutters that it's been 20 hours since she started this insane workout. He clenches his fists, wanting to stop her. He knows he should step in right now. But he's been watching her since she was a little girl. He knows her heart. This latest mission changed something in her. Whether she's blaming herself or just feels helpless, she won't stop until she's the strongest in the room. As the youngest heir of the SH Group, she carries an insane burden. Giving it her all, Shireen leaps up and slams her blade down, creating a blinding arc of light. After that swing, her bloody hands shake uncontrollably. It looks like she used every last drop of her strength. The man can't just watch anymore. He steps up, looking heartbroken. Shireen checks her phone and nearly faints when she sees that insane number of 1,443,000,000 won on the screen. 1.4 billion won. Han Charon's private tutoring fee just freaking doubled. Did he seriously just transfer the 10 billion won difference instantly? Chairman Han just walks away coolly, dropping a simple, got it. Siu stands there totally frozen. Rich people, logic is seriously insane. Who else can just wire 10 billion won while chilling in a chair like it's nothing? Watching the powerful chairman walk away, Siu breaks into a cold sweat. He has got this shaky, respectful smile. The SH Group is on a whole other level. Forget the stock market or whatever else. Chairman Han of the SH Group is a straight-up legend. Clutching his phone, a smug grin creeps onto his face. Nice. Now that I have got 20 billion won a month, I can handle the 15.1 billion won subscription fee, right? Sounds great. Until reality hits. Siu's face turns into a crying chibi. His hands shake while holding his phone. Damn, losing 15.1 billion won every month hurts. Then his eyes sharpen. He looks totally serious. Subbing right now isn't a choice. To break past my limits, this is absolutely necessary. Siu taps the glowing screen. He is subbing to the Hydra channel, even with that insane price tag of 8 billion won a month. The system fires back with bright blue notifications. You joined the Hydra channel. You have received SS plus tier poison. Standing in a spooky green aura, Siu just smiles. This trade is surprisingly simple. Honestly, I expected something way cooler, like some Godslayer poison or something like that. He looks at his hands. But wait, did anything even change? I don't feel any different. Images of the massive Hydra flash through his mind. Its venom is literally its blood. Is my blood poisonous now? Just as I thought, testing it out is the fastest way to know for sure. Suddenly, we are in a C-rank dungeon. Red-haired Gijun is sweating buckets, stammering, boss, Siu is just sitting on a massive dead monster, making Gijun panic. What the hell are you doing? Siu turns around with a creepy, mischievous grin. Oh, this? There's just something I need to check out. Siu casually grazes his finger against the beast's sharp fang, letting a single drop of his own blood fall right into its throat. Instantly, the monster thrashes wildly. It screams in pure agony, vomiting black blood while its entire body convulses under the absolute destruction of the poison. Looking at the bloody carcass, Siu lets out a cold, satisfied laugh. So that's how it works. Behind him, Gijun is just speechless. Gijun looks totally done with this. He is sweating, thinking, man, I will never understand what goes on in that guy's head. Suddenly, Siu asks, hey Gijun. They walk over to a pile of purple leaves that are giving off a weird vibe. Gijun points and explains, oh, I put those over there. Why? Because they are trash, boss. The red-haired guy flips his hair proudly. The only weakness of my super regeneration is poison, so I know my way around toxic plants. Siu picks up a purple leaf, his expression turning deadly serious. If I eat this, the toxin will melt my insides within 10 hours. Gijun's eyes go wide with horror as he starts screaming, what? Boss! The red-haired guy is flailing his arms in a total panic. Are you okay? Is your stomach melting right now? Unlike the panicked kid, Siu is just sitting there munching away. Not really, just a bit bitter. He smiles as a system notification pops up. Eating one poisonous plant increased proficiency by 0.02%. It is like the Hydra venom is purifying other toxins. Inside him, green energy from the plant tries to eat his veins, but it is immediately swarmed and completely wiped out by the Hydra's glowing red aura. It is like the plant's poison is trying to wreck me, but the Hydra venom just shuts it down. Siu's eyes go wide, fight fire with fire. If I am going to rebuild my whole body, I need to boost my proficiency. Hey Gijun, can you ask that lady to get me more poisonous plants? Gijun just looks helpless. Test finished. They head toward the portal. Gijun speaks up. By the way, I have been meaning to ask. Did you really save Master Aurelian and Han Charon this time? Boss? Siu turns around, looking totally shocked. Wait, how the hell do you know about that? Gijun rolls his eyes like it is obvious. How could I not know? Boss, every news outlet is going crazy over that story right now. Totally legendary. I heard the culprit was an S-rank hunter. Even Han Charon had a rough time. Siu stops in his tracks. Hold up. Did you just call her Han Charon? Are you actually younger than she is? Gijun nods proudly. Yeah, I am a year younger. I am 20, she is 21. Siu just looks away, acting all suspicious and calculating. Oh, really? So she is 21. Standing by the red portal, Gijun looks confused. Wait, you didn't know that? Nah, it is not that important. Siu frowns. He has got a bad feeling. Wait, why isn't it important? Siu's face freezes. He starts sweating buckets when his sidekick drops a bombshell. Isn't she your girlfriend? Siu screams internally. What kind of nonsense is that? He remembers them holding hands at the housewarming party. Since when did Han Charon become my freaking girlfriend? Gijun grins and gives a thumbs up. At the party, you guys were holding hands and doing all sorts of stuff. Siu is speechless. Just holding hands? Leaning in with a devious grin, Gijun gets ready to spill the tea. Come on, boss, you actually believe in platonic friendships between guys and girls? Siu breaks into a cold sweat. Trying to save face, he stammers. Of course, just like you and my sister. Gijun's grin vanishes instantly, replaced by pure shock. Wait, you have 0 female friends? Siyu snaps back. No, not even one. His brain is working overtime to dodge the bullet. So every girl you ever hung out with was a girlfriend? Gijun beams with a blindingly proud smile and boldly declares, Nope, never had one. Siyu stares blankly. Totally disappointed, he asks, Not even one? Gijun stays cheerful. Nope. Siyu checks again. For real? Gijun shrugs like it is nothing. Why is that so hard to believe? Seeing his boss go quiet, Jijun smirks and flips the script. How about you, boss? If you are not seeing Han Charon, Siyu flinches under his buddy's sharp gaze. Have you ever actually had a girlfriend? Siyu starts stuttering. Sweating like a fountain, Siyu stammers. Well, the space before the gate falls into a deadly silence. 2 single guys just staring at each other, totally speechless. The 2 brothers are crying as they run like their lives depend on it. Gijin screams with passion, Today we are raiding every single dungeon in Seoul. Seoul is totally down for it. Let us go. Gijin, where is the next dungeon? In a heartbeat, he is already back at his forge. Chewing on a blade of grass, he watches the toxic pot boil. How did some poisonous herbs end up costing me 200 million won? The system flashes some good news. Mastery levels for the SSS rank skill are climbing. He realizes that just consuming these poisonous herbs is seriously boosting his skill proficiency. Thinking back to Seo Unze happily holding up 2 fingers and quoting 200 million won for the toxic herbs on the market, Siyu's face turns completely gloomy. He sighs heavily. If I keep buying these until my body fully reconstructs, I will be dropping 500 million won every month just on medicine. Just as he is losing hope because his wallet is empty, the system flashes. You have successfully crafted a basic elixir. You have mastered the fundamentals of alchemy. Siyu stares at his phone in shock. An elixir? In his mind, he sees a glowing bottle radiating mystic power. Legend says this pill can fix anyone, even the broken. They say that mastering the most lethal poisons is the mark of a true divine doctor. His skill level starts skyrocketing instantly. The notification window is going crazy. His mastery of the S+ rank divine medicine skill has increased significantly, jumping up to 55.881%. With sweat dripping down his forehead, Siyu's eyes become sharp and full of resolve. He swallows hard and wonders if he should really try drinking this stuff once. Hold on, it is bubbling and looks like radioactive pig slop. Siyu stands over the frothing elixir, sweating buckets and muttering, Is this actually safe to drink? Going for broke, he fills a cup and chugs the whole thing in one go. Green liquid drips down his chin. Whatever, it is an elixir, right? Whatever happens, happens. The notification pops up. You have consumed a basic elixir. All of your physical stats have been significantly enhanced. Suddenly, Siyu turns green and his stomach starts churning. Toxic fumes rise from his mouth. If the taste itself is already poisonous, then this stuff is definitely lethal poison. Siyu covers his mouth, his face twisting into a miserable mess while he fights off the intense nausea. Why on earth does it taste like this? It is just herbs, but every bit of pain has its price. Notifications keep popping up. Lethal poison mastery increased to 2.2% and superior strength mastery went up as well. Siyu's eyes light up. He wipes his mouth quickly. Did my superior strength mastery really just go up? That means I am pushing past my natural limits. Plus, the system keeps reporting. Insight mastery for the S+ rank has increased to 2.95%. Siyu is sweating and stunned like a statue. Wait, why did my insight increase? Did my mind just reach a new level of enlightenment from that absolutely horrific taste? Standing before the steaming cup of medicine, Siyu lets out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. Whatever, to keep pushing past my limits, I am going to have to keep drinking this from now on. He looks at the pot with a heavy heart and starts questioning life. Why does everything that is good for your body always taste so impossible to swallow? I guess that is just the law of the universe.